Okay, we've had a lot going on. We've had Amy McGrath unfortunately beating Charles Booker in the Kentucky primary. She will go on to lose to Mitch McConnell because why would you vote for a pro-Trump Democrat when you go for a pro-Trump Republican like Mitch McConnell? We've had Trump retweeting old man shouting "white power" from his golf cart and then deleting it. We've had stories about the Russian government paying bounties for every dead soldier. The European Union has banned us Americans, and with good reason. Also, Trump is losing to Biden by double digits, including possibly here in Georgia. But also, I want to talk about something that's been going on for the last day or two. This notion that Donald Trump, if he drops in the polls enough, in percentage points enough, that he will drop out of the Republican race and presumably endorse Pence. This Cenk Uygur has taken on that bet with Anna Kasparian. I'm going to have to side with Anna on this and say he is not going to drop out. Now, if Trump was a normal person with a normal personality and the ability to be humble and admit defeat, then yes, we have seen it before. We have seen incumbent presidents drop out of races before. Harry Truman in 1952, he was exempt from the 22nd Amendment, and therefore he was allowed to run for president. Grandfather clause. So he was allowed to run for president in 52. He could have been president for the rest of his life. Um, due to the being exempt from the term limits. But when because of his mishandling of the Korean War and some allegations of corruption and his age, he lost the New Hampshire primary and dropped out. It happened again in '68. Lyndon Johnson, who fell into the parameters of the 22nd Amendment, um, was allowed to run for president again in '68. He won the New Hampshire primary, but only by the thinnest margin till he realized I'm not going to win this. I may have won the primary, but I'm not going to win the other primary, so I'm just going to drop out and endorse Hubert Humphrey, the vice president. Um, that would be Trump if he was a normal person with the ability to be humble and admit defeat, but he isn't. Donald Trump is a megalomaniac, raging, narcissistic psychopath who can't ever admit defeat. He can't ever admit he's wrong. He can't admit he lost. He won the election, losing the popular vote, and to this day, he still claims that millions of 3 million people illegally voted for Hillary Clinton. He even made a commission to prove it, and turned out it was bullshit. But he won't admit it. Because that would be an admission of defeat. It, sorry about that. That would be an admission of defeat. To drop out of the race would be an admission of defeat. It'd be an admission of loss. And for Trump, even though there is nothing worse than death, for Trump, that is a fate worse than death. For him, for his ego. He wants to win. It has been said that Trump doesn't like to govern, he just likes to campaign. And I will admit, he's good at that. He's good at campaigning. He is good at that. Especially when it's flaming the fears and hatred of his rabid followers. But he will not. He has himself said, I am not fucking losing to Joe Biden. He will stay in there. He will stay in this race. And if he loses, let me say if he loses, he will contest the election. He will do the same thing he did with Hillary Clinton. Also, the same thing he said about the election of 2016 before it was even over. He said it was going to be rigged. And even when it turns out, oh, I won, it's still rigged because I didn't win the popular vote. He's going to contest the election. This reminds me of a case. I can't. What are you doing, cat? There was I can't remember when it was, or who it was, or what country it was, but I do remember there was an African country where there was an election and the incumbent lost, but the incumbent refused to leave office. I can't remember the exact details, I just remember that. Trump is going to refuse to leave, possibly. But he's not going to drop out. Sorry. He's just not. Trump's ego won't let him do that. But we also got to remember, Trump is losing. I never thought I'd see this against Joe Biden. If you had told me a year ago, July 2019, have you said, hey dude, next year Donald Trump is going to be losing to Joe Biden, I would actually laugh at you. But now it's like, oh, well, hello there. Because we are on unprecedented time. While we do while the protests have sort of gone down, everyone's going to remember the civil unrest that we've had and Trump's fascist response to it. We also have COVID-19, which still is still happening. It's actually rising, unfortunately, because we are the only country to politicize wearing a mask and just taking the precautions to prevent the spread of COVID-19. We take it as political. There are Karens who literally went before some city in Palm Beach in Florida and said you are doing the devil's work by wearing masks and distancing yourselves and doing what you can to spread COVID-19 is the devil's work. Fucking really? And also it's gotten to a point where wearing a mask is basically it's a political sign, it's a political gesture that you're against Trump. Let me tell you something. I wear a mask to work and out in public regardless of Trump. I would do it if it was apolitical. I would do it if I was supporting Trump. But this mask thing shouldn't be a political issue. I don't wear it because I'm for or against Trump. It has. I would do it if Bernie or Hillary or someone else was president. I'm not doing this as a people are seeing that Trump is losing his mind, that he's unraveling, he's becoming unhinged, and he's just doing shit that's unpopular. But he will not drop out, folks. That's not going to happen. I would give my I would give my I would give up playing video games if it meant Trump dropping out. But you know why that's mean not playing video games is going to happen? Because that's not going to happen. I would have to get a genie. And also for that to happen. And by the way, if you're going to get a genie, you should wish for Bernie to be president. But that's all I'm going to say. He's not going to drop out. Anna is going to win this bet that she has made with Shank. I think Shank is being optimistic. He's being like, okay, there's being optimistic and then there's being foolish. Trump's not going to win. Now there are some people saying that Trump doesn't want to be president. That he just likes the rallies, the adulation, people sucking his dick. I said what I said. I'm not going to apologize for that, and that's true. But to resign or to drop out would be an admission of defeat. And like I said, for him, that's a fate worse than death. Even though there is nothing worse than death. Um, but yeah, that's my video. Stay awesome, stay progressive, and may the force be with you.